makes me wanna holler, go away. I need more peace and hope and love. Where do I find it in this crazy old world? I need strategies, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Every time I listen, Lauren and David share strategies for living, and it makes me aware. I got strategies for living, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio.
Oh, we need them. Yeah, we need those strategies, don't we? Those strategies for living. So, are you ready? Ready for your daily dose of radio rehab?
Ready as ever.
Okay, I like to hear that. Hey, folks, welcome. Welcome into another edition of Strategies for a Living. I'm Dr. David McMillian, and she is psychotherapist, LPC, Lauren Leon McMillian. One of the things that is stressed, Lauren, in counselor education is counseling. I hope it's still stressed. I certainly, in the 5 years that I taught at Louisiana Tech in the graduate program for counselors, something that I stressed a lot, and I'm pretty certain it's still being stressed, and that is counseling is different from advice giving.
Ooh, absolutely.
And
that's interesting because I think so many people, including people who come to counseling, almost expect that.
Yeah,
like, I'm here for you to tell me what to do.
But here's the
not
deal.
At all.
but here's the deal. Whether the vast majority of people listening to us are not counselors, and they're not going to be counselors.
Right.
However, we all have, probably everybody listening has somebody in their life that they would like to give support to. So the question is, how do you support someone without giving advice? Because giving advice, I just thought of this, giving advice can put you in a vice. Vice.
Yes. Yeah, it can. I don't think people realize how truly unhelpful advice actually is.
I just ran across an article from Time magazine from this past week, and I like this writer. She's actually an editor with Time magazine. I think she's the health and wellness editor. Her name is Angela Haupt. And she wrote an article, How to Support Someone Without Giving Advice. And no pun intended here.
Yeah. She
had some good advice. So, as I read through, I guess, I'm always looking,
Always.
So as I read through, I said, we got to share this with Strategy's audience.
Yes.
That's what we're going to do today. Folks, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you being here with us, and we appreciate our sponsors, the Robinson Film Center, Azalea Cleaners, Pintail Roofing. Ooh, I used to call it the Balanced Life Wellness Center, but now it's Restore Wellness and Healing. Yes. Fertitas Delicatessen, home of the Muffy, SRT Sales Training, Uprising Addiction Center, and Mira Direct Primary Care.
I thought I was going to need to advise you over there.
Well, just support me. Okay. Just support me without giving me advice. That's today here on Strategies. Stay with us.
Tune in daily, find the light. Healthy mind and spirits bright. Strategies for living strong. Feel the vibe, it won't go wrong. Body moves and soul align. Catch the rhythm, feel the time. Radio rehab every day. Chase those clouds of gray away. Your daily dose of radio rehab. Lift you up when skies seem drab. Mind and body, spirits free. Living life in harmony.
What was that?
It was the tail end of a yawn.
Yeah. Well, let me give you a little advice.
Oh, I just need support.
Okay,
please.
well, let me support you.
Especially in this matter.
Let me support you. Don't do that on the radio. Well, welcome,
It was
folks.
still advice.
Yeah, well, okay, whatever. Welcome, folks. Welcome into Strategies for Living. As Lauren and I have a marital fight right here on the air. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian.
Right.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'd advise against.
I'm going to support you in that.
I appreciate it.
You know, the thing is that when somebody that you care about is going through a hard time, wouldn't you do just about anything that you could to make them feel better?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. However, one of the easiest traps that we fall into, and it is a trap, it's offering advice too quickly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say don't ever, unless you're a counselor. Don't give advice if you're a counselor.
No, yeah.
You're doing that counseling is a different animal than
if you're in a friend
supporting a friend or family member. Yeah.
Yeah.
So eventually you may want to give some advice when asked.
Yeah. I think that's the key.
And people even early will say, how do I fix this?
Sure.
And I would say resist that early invitation.
I would resist even jumping in because we are such a society of fixers. We've got to do something.
Yeah.
And so often in a situation where there are big feelings, it's more important that we allow ourselves the space to feel and move through those big feelings rather than jumping to quote unquote fix them.
Now, it's interesting that you're saying that because this article that Angela Haupt wrote, and it was in Time Magazine, quotes a therapist from Chattanooga, Tennessee, named Allie Spots DeLazer. And this therapist says, advice usually lands better after someone feels understood.
Right. And I think all of us have been on the other end of unsolicited advice, right?
Yeah.
And
somebody rushing in too quickly.
We may not be able to put it into words, but if you could, I think we could all agree that often ends up feeling like, the other person doesn't have faith in you to figure it out. Right?
Yeah.
Or I'm uncomfortable with your feelings.
Yeah, but it could also lead, Lauren, to the person, if the advice comes too quickly, it can lead to the other person feeling dismissed.
Right, exactly.
Because, it's like, okay, here's the advice, and let's move on.
Yeah.
In other words,
I don't want to deal with it.
I don't want to deal with it anymore. And that's about the opposite of when somebody is in a situation that really needs help and you really want to help.
Right. And I think that's the idea. We don't recognize that what we really need is connection.
Yeah.
Before the correction, so to speak.
So rushing to offer solutions is probably something that you want to go very slow on. The experts say that the best way to show up is to help people feel heard first and foremost, and offer guidance later if they still want it once they're heard. Many times, and this is one of the, things that through the years in the counseling room, and especially with clients who had come in a first session, especially with clients who had never been to therapy before, or they hadn't been for a long, long time. It was amazing to me how often people after the first session, where I simply did a lot of listening.
Yep.
Maybe an occasional question here or there to point the person, but way more, I would say, 75% listening to 25%.
And when you say listening, it's active listening, which includes validation.
Yes. Feedback.
Holding the space.
Feedback to the person to let them know You've
get it.
heard
Yeah.
you've heard them
Your
and you
feelings-
understand.
Your feelings make sense.
Yes.
Totally.
That's it.
And anybody could feel that way.
But it was always amazing to me how many people, even though, I said, most of the time I talked very little in comparison to what they did, but they would stand up at the end of that session, and as they were walking out, there would either be a heavy sigh of relief. It was definitely relief. Or they would say many, many times, more often than not, I guess they would voice, wow,
I feel so much
I feel
better.
so much better now.
Yep.
And, being human, you really like to hear that, even though we don't need to hear, we're trained not to need to hear it,
Absolutely.
but it's nice
Yeah.
to hear that.
And-
Nice
and-
to get that
and
validation.
I have, several feelings about that. First, I'm really glad that people like you and I can provide that space for people.
Yeah.
But there's also part of me that's a little dismayed that we can't provide that more for each other. That, you have to come. I'm glad we're here, and I don't want to put myself out of the job, so to speak.
No.
But, I think.
Why don't we do this more for each other?
Right.
Yeah, I get you.
It's a very natural, normal human need, and we are in society with one another, if not on the ultimate level, all each other as one.
Yeah.
And so one of the most important things that we can do is provide that connection and safety and validation
Many
for each other in
times.
our humanness.
Yeah, and I get you, and I hear you, and I agree 100% with you. But I also, from a very realistic point of view, say, well, is that the kind of world that we live in? Is that the kind of world that we have constructed around us? Because we are all in an environment, much of which, whether we realize it or not, we've created.
Sure.
And so, I think of families.
We all have a part in it.
I think of families with 1, 2, or 3 kids, and all 3 kids are involved in this and that and the other after school, and there's an emphasis on good grades, and then there's an emphasis on, well, we got to get this one to soccer, and we got to get this one to football practice, and we got to get this one to ballet.
On top of parents who weren't raised by emotionally intelligent people, who continue that. Now, I think a lot of parents are trying and are doing much better now, but it's a lot to juggle.
It is a lot
And
to
I
juggle,
think we're on.
especially in the world we live in today.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the world we live in today that has been constructed the way it's constructed will have our school-age children coming home asking to be in this or that or the other thing more often than not, because all of their friends are.
Yeah.
And so, and again, that's just part of the world that we have collectively constructed, and that's not going to change quickly.
No.
So that kind of leads into the first thing that, if you are in a situation where you want to support somebody, one of the first things I think you have to ask, Lauren, is ask yourself who you're really trying to soothe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We always asterisk some, and this would be my big asterisk
So
for people.
run a quick gut check before you say anything. Is what I'm about to say going to help me, or is it going to help them?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're truly honest, your answer might surprise you, because giving advice usually calms you down way more than it helps them.
Because it provides this false sense of control. Like if I can provide some statement of let's do it, let's do this, I feel like I have some control over what's going on, which includes what's going on within me emotionally.
Absolutely.
Right? And so this goes back.
And watching somebody that we love go through a struggle is going to create uncertainty in you.
Yes. And so it's very, very important that we all acknowledge and begin to confront that within ourselves, that, when it's really a beautiful gift if we think about it, when we have someone that's very close to us in our lives, and I'm thinking of several instances that you and I have even been through, right?
Right.
When we have someone who's very close to us in our lives who's going through a struggle, it actually offers a great opportunity for us to see, okay, how am I responding to this struggle? And what does that mean for me? How can we work on this together?
Well, and the truth is, if we tell ourselves 100% the truth, the reality is you probably can't solve what they're facing.
No.
You can't tell them whether they'll fill in the blank, get the job, or whether the relationship is going to work out, or how a difficult decision that they're facing is going to unfold.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of trying to erase that uncertainty in you, what can you say to help them tolerate that sense of uncertainty,
Mm-hmm.
right? You might not need to have all the right answers. Supporting somebody means helping them discover, and that gets back to what you were talking about earlier. The real training of counselors, professionals at this, are supposed to be anyway, is to set it up where there is a self-discovery,
Right.
that is going to happen. It may not happen.
Because we all have the answers within us.
No-
it's about
no question.
removing the blocks to get there.
It may not
and
happen.
providing the environment.
May not happen in one session. May take a few, but may take a few to remove the blocks or help the other person remove the blocks. But it's important nonetheless. How do we support without giving advice? We're talking about it today here on Strategies for Living.
We all have problems every day. We all need help along the way. We need strategies for living radio.
And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living Radio. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian. Hey, quick reminder. If you are hearing a part of the program today, you're missing it, wish you could hear the whole thing, you can. Anytime.
That's right.
Because
We're
Strategies for Living, we're on the radio,
podcasts.
and we're wonderful. We're not going anywhere if we have anything to do with it. But we've added a podcast. So the same program that you're hearing right now is available to you in podcast form. Because there's a lot of times that people will say, how can I get a copy of that show? I want to send it to this person or that person who may not live in the broadcast area. Okay, so the podcast is the way to do it. Go to your favorite podcast platform, whether that's Apple or Spotify or iHeart, wherever you get your podcast.
Whatever it is.
And in the search, put in Strategies for Living or Strategies for Living Radio. And we'll pop up. Just subscribe to us. And we're available. You got us.
That's how you do
You
it.
can also go to strategiesforliving.com,
Yep.
strategiesforlivingradio.com, and you can link to the podcast that way if that's easier. So we're talking today about when you want to support somebody, how do you do that without advice giving? And I think this is one of the more important topics.
Yeah.
That
I think a lot of people are actually really unconscious or unaware of the fact that is the gut reaction.
Yeah.
To as soon as somebody comes with a complaint or a struggle or an issue, the very first thing that comes out of their mouth is, well, have you tried or have you done?
Yeah. Or you need to do this, or you need to go see this person.
I would do blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Okay, so, one of the things that you might want to do, this is another strategy, help the person feel less alone. Before any advice can land, people need to feel like you get them.
Yes. One of the greatest gifts we can give each other, pun intended, is our presence.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this goes back to something we talked about not long ago. I mean, this is something that's unfortunately rare today. I mean, think about it, how often our attention is pulled by social media, by the news, by this activity or that activity, the schedule, work. I mean, our attention is being pulled in every direction.
Absolutely.
And really, one of the greatest gifts and in some way regard in this world of rebellion can be to really attend to each other with presence and awareness.
You want to be very aware of the use of I. So the most helpful responses that you can give to someone that you want to support, think of them as being short, oftentimes short, and they don't start with I. All right, so something like,
that makes sense.
That sounds hard. That sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, anything, but not starting
Tell
with.
me more.
Yeah, not starting with I. Any of those things that is said sincerely, let the other person know that they don't have to carry what they're feeling. They're not alone. They don't have to carry this alone. You get them. You get it.
Well, and we also know from a nervous system perspective, right, that emotional connection literally calms the nervous system. Feeling seen and understood can reduce that distress and shift you back into that rest and repair response, which is where the magic happens, so to speak, right?
I love this. This is a go-to. Can I sit with you in this for a minute? Just so you're not alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
How
I sit with
elegant.
You? I mean, there's nothing else when...
Yeah. How elegant is that? Can I sit with you in this for a minute? Just so you're not alone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right. And that kind of goes into the next thing that we need to talk about. And that is, when you want to support somebody, if you rush too quickly to give advice, you're coming off as the expert in their life. Okay, so the strategy is here, let them stay the expert on their life, on their own life. The goal isn't to know more than the person in front of you. It's to make it clear that they're being seen by you. You see them.
Yeah. This is another one of those tricks of the trade in terms of counseling. This is actually in, some of the paperwork that I give to people when they first come to me as clients. It's so that we are on the same page, that, you, the client, you who's coming to me, are the expert on your own life. I'm not.
Right.
I mean, I have a set of skills and I can help you to remove some blocks and to see things in a different way.
And I have important questions that I can put on the table to be considered.
Right. To guide you towards the answers which are within you. Right? I mean, because if you think about it, even if you're really close with someone, you're still only getting a snapshot of their life. Right. I mean, we cannot know the full experience of another without being in the other. Yeah. And as far as we know, in form, so far, that's not a possible experience. Right.
We want to start with empathy. But here's the deal. A lot of us don't know what that sounds like. What does empathy sound like? And you said this earlier. It makes sense that you feel this way.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That makes sense to me. I can understand why you'd feel that.
And way. I want to put a little asterisk here. That doesn't mean that you agree. You don't agree with the way they're feeling or what they're doing about it or the way they're thinking about it. Right. All you're saying is that sense. Okay, based on what you've shared with me, the way you feel just makes sense. Yeah. And that's totally okay. You feel what you feel.
But position yourself so that they're the expert. Let them be the 100% total expert on what they're sharing with you.
Yeah, and so, again, you said, I'm here to ask guiding questions, right? So some of those might be, what's helped you before?
Yeah.
Right? Because what that does is flip the script from, well, here's what's helped me. Well, that might not necessarily help the other person.
Right.
To
right.
place them as the expert in their life, you shift that to, well, what's helped you before here? What does your gut tell you?
Yeah.
Right? What feels most important to
To
you?
you. Yeah. The fastest way to make somebody feel misunderstood is to act like you know their situation better than they do.
Yes.
And, that's just not true.
Right. When you come from that place, you come from a position of false authority, and it comes off as, well, I know what's best for you.
Yeah. There was a client, a counselor psychotherapist quoted in the article that I mentioned that we're looking at, and recalling a client whose wife had Alzheimer's disease.
Okay.
And what stung the most, this client told the therapist, was people who rushed in to share what some expert or some other relative had done.
Yeah.
And, it's just so deflating, the person said. Like, don't you think I've already thought of those things already?
Mm-hmm.
When you do want to nudge somebody toward a decision, instead of instructing, use the questioning technique.
Mm-hmm.
Ask.
Yeah.
Instead of pushing, asking.
Okay.
Instead of instructing, asking. What comes to mind when you think about fill in the blank, whatever it is?
Right.
And that's powerful because they hear their own voice in the answer,
Yeah, and I think that's something that we've got to really wrestle with as a society, that, we each know our own bodies and our own minds the best.
Yeah. And our own relationships and how, what's going on in there.
And the other deal is if you're the advice giver, you don't have to deal with or go through the consequences of whatever this action may be.
Yeah.
And so, and then what that could also set up is what we've talked about before, and I won't go into a soapbox moment, but it sets up the drama triangle, right?
Yeah.
Where suddenly you have a perpetrator telling somebody what to do, right? And they can set up to feel like the victim, right?
Yeah.
And they can say, well, I did what you said and it didn't work. And so then we have this big triangle of drama, and that's not helpful.
Right.
Right.
So another strategy is don't guess. Don't guess what they need. Not everybody wants the same kind of support. So you want to support, but don't assume. You know what assuming does. Makes an ass of you and me. So start a conversation with, I'm so here for you right now. I'm with you. I'm right here with you.
Or how can I be here? How can I best be here for
what
you?
do you most need right now?
Would you want me to listen? Would you want me to help brainstorm? Or do you want me to just sit?
You can even ask the question so it can be taken off the table. You don't want me in fix-it mode, right?
Right.
And let them, and it's okay to say that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great reminder for yourself, especially if
Exactly.
you're working on it.
And it's a great reminder for them that, hey, no, that's not the answer. Again, you don't need a rescuer. This is your life. It's your situation. I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you any way that I can. But I'm not here to run into the rescue.
Right.
I've taken my cape off.
Yeah. I mean, and what that says to the person is, I know I believe in you. I believe in your ability to move through this, and I'm here with you. You're not alone.
You're not alone.
We can walk together through this.
And I won't go anyplace. What do you do? What do you do when you really want to support somebody that needs your help? But you need to stay away from advice giving. You don't want to give advice. At least now. Maybe you did. Now, listening to the first part of the program.
I hope you are beginning to understand that it's not helpful most of the time.
We're talking about that today here on Strategies for Living. And we've got more. Come back with us. Be right back.
We all have problems every day. We all need help along the way. We need strategies, strategies, strategies for living radio.
Welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian. Talking today about how do we support somebody that we really want to support without advice giving. Advice, just asterisk advice giving. That's a no-no. Don't do that.
It gets us all into a big mess, and it's just not helpful.
Yeah.
It's not what people need, and it doesn't provide the environment for connection, which is what we need.
All right. So another strategy is slow everything down.
Yes.
Sometimes the most supportive thing you can do is
Hold
nothing.
space.
Yeah.
Hold space and be there.
Yeah.
I mean, we know, we've talked about this a lot, but I think it's worth mentioning over again that when we get into this space where we are dysregulated, where we're hitting a struggle and we're stressed, it's hard for us to actually think logically and rationally.
Yeah, because our nervous system is out of sync, right?
Right.
But another person who brings some calm to the situation, that one beat, just taking a second, often will give that person safety and regulation more than any words possibly could.
Yeah. And as much as you can, and maybe you can practice this, is to get comfortable with and allow silence.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes people just need another body to be there with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
As we're talking about this, I keep hearing this song in my head. It's actually a kid's song. It's a newer kid's song by Tawny Kendall is her name. Because it's about this. It's about what can we do when we hit a problem, right? And it's about being able to hold space. So I looked up the exact lyrics just so I could share them with you. Okay. So the song goes, is the problem big or is it small? Can it be fixed soon or not at all? Do you need to cry and let it flow or take deep breaths and let it go? Do you want to hug and snuggle tight or would no touching feel more right? Do you want to talk and share the load or do you need time to think alone?
Yeah.
If you don't know yet what you want to do, that's all right. May I sit with you?
Oh, I love it. That's exactly what we're talking about. That summarizes what we're talking about today so beautifully.
And could you imagine if this started as children? If we began with
what a world we would construct, what a world we would create.
And so I'm going to plug this. If you've got kids, please look up Tawny Kendall and her Big Feelings song. I think it's important for the world.
Okay. Yeah, maybe there's...
And even if you're an adult, this is important for the inner child to hear.
Absolutely. All right, another strategy is to trade fixes for curiosity.
Okay.
If you're tempted to tell somebody what you think they should do, instead ask a question. It sounds like part of you already knows what to do. What's stopping you? That's a question.
Okay.
Yeah. Instead of handing somebody an answer, it invites them to think through what's really holding them back.
Right. So again, you're being a guide
to help people get unstuck
by holding the space, listening, and then holding them as the expert. Right?
If you're venting, you're stuck in your head. Anybody that's venting is generally stuck in their head.
Yes, and so a great shift to that is to move into the body.
Right.
Right? So that would be to slow it down, take deep breaths.
And that's what a good question does. A good question helps somebody move forward and even into the body because, especially if they're strategies for living listeners, because they know that our feelings our bodily sensations
Correct.
with labels, right?
Yes.
And so if I'm moving somebody into their body, that's going to help. That's going to help with that dysregulation.
Yeah.
It's going to help, get the person back into a regulated brain stance. Stay in your lane. That's another strategy. Before you jump in, pause. Ask yourself, whose problem is this? Don't ask the person. Ask yourself.
Yeah.
Whose problem is this? That's before you say a word.
I think
right?
this is so important because there are so many recovering people pleasers in our world, right? That, we're raised in families where the responsibility and the boundaries were unclear.
Yeah.
Right? Where suddenly somebody's emotions becomes the responsibility of someone else.
Yeah.
And that's never the case.
When you're solving, especially when you're quick to solve, you know what you're basically saying? I don't believe you can handle this.
Right.
That's what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to handle it for you. All right. Now, we wouldn't say that. Most people would not say that.
But that's the message.
That is the
That
message.
is the clear message when you jump in and say, well, we're just going to do this. This is what needs to be done. And do you want to do it or you want me to do it?
Yeah, there you go.
Some people don't even offer that.
Another strategy is to skip the silver lining.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody's hurting, it's very natural to go to reassurance.
Yes.
But if you offer that too soon, again, as I said before, it can sound dismissive, not comforting. So cheer up. This is going to be fine. Can fall completely flat.
Yes.
So skip the silver lining. Stop yourself from that.
Again, that's about discomfort with difficult or just discomfort with certain emotions, right?
Now, you can eventually, offer hope, but it's a matter of timing.
Right. And
Right.
It's just about we have to validate what's there first.
Yeah.
Because if you're saying, well, let's go ahead and shift emotions, I mean, you're basically saying that what you're feeling is not okay or right, and we need to move.
Yeah.
And we know what you resist persists.
Yeah,
right?
there you go. Last but not least, I got to get this one in quick.
Okay.
Show up with your hands, not just with your words.
Oh.
You and I are, familiar with the situation in our lives recently where, we were gathered with other people who were concerned and something needed to be done.
Yeah.
And, so some people gathered together and did it.
Mm-hmm.
Hands showed up.
Yes. Yeah.
Hands are so much better than advice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that could be showing up with dinner or helping to...
Sure. A plate of brownies? I'll always take a plate of brownies. Just write that down, folks.
putting
Remember that.
Putting that out there,
Just
right?
putting that out there.
It might not get past the front door, but
It
he'll
might not. But what did work is, I wrote a note in the empty brownie pan in our refrigerator that got me more brownies. It was a note from the pan that said, "I'm so sad because I'm empty."
Yes, well, I do have empathy.
Yeah. How do you support without giving advice? Talking about that today here on Strategies for Living. Welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Psychotherapist Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian. And how important do you think, you're the expert in the room, how important do you think today's topic is in our society today? And your takeaway from what we've talked about today.
I think it's incredibly important because I think, I don't think many people are even aware at how much we jump into advice or just trying to skip over the feelings part of being human,
Yeah.
right? And so
If we've just made people pause today
Mm-hmm.
before they're too quickly going to the advice,
Yeah.
then we've done our job.
and I would ask yourself just to be more aware of how quickly you are.
Yeah.
Not just with other people, but within yourself. When you become triggered
Right.
or you find yourself struggling, notice how quickly you are to jump into, oh, well, what have I got to do about this? Or, something other than sinking into and validating the feeling that you have first.
Yeah.
Because what we need most right now, I think, is connection and presence with ourselves and each other.
Amen. And so, Lauren, thank you.
Thank you.
Good stuff today. And
As always.
I truly hope, like I hope all of our programs are, hope it's helpful to somebody's out there. I know it is to us.
That's it.
Folks, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. And we appreciate our sponsors who make it possible. The Robinson Film Center and Azalea Cleaners and Pintail Roofing and Restore Healing and Fertitas Delicatessen, home of the Muffy, SRT Sales Training, Uprising Addiction Center, and Mira Direct Primary Care. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make, who would you call? And what would you say? And why? Why are you waiting? Make the call. For Lauren Leon McMillian, I'm David McMillian. Hope to see you next time right here on Strategies for a Living.